You're approaching the double doors that, Owlin, you remember as a youngster pushing open and preparing to hide in the cafeteria, the ones that lead down to all the workrooms with their fascinating experiment chambers and whatnot. That space, by the way, is probably destroyed. Glass everywhere. I mean, it was a pillar suspended through the middle of the tower, so there's probably all kinds of wreckage down there. You have no idea what awaits you. But you also hear something else that troubles you a little bit on the other side. You start to hear voices. You hear voices and footsteps, and it sounds like a lot of them. And people are yelling back to each other. You said you heard something back up this way? And someone else is going, yeah, man, I'm telling you, I heard something. We got to go check it out. You hear someone, just some different sounds of people mustering and organizing.
Alan's going to quickly go into military mode, and he maybe doesn't realize that everyone else around him may not understand, but he's going to do a form up, get to the get around the walls and get ready to sneak attack kind of hand motions, and then get his sword out and hide behind the door, basically trying to position himself so that they won't see them if they open the door, but then they can get the sneak attack, the surprise round when they enter.
Roll a charisma check with advantage. I'm not gonna roll. Each of the rest of you is going to roll a charisma check normally, and if Owlin rolls higher than you, then you understand what he's motioning.
I got a nat 20.
I got a nat 20.
Well, what's your charisma bonus?
Attacker wins in a tie, so you understand what he's saying.
I got a 19.
Rules.
I got a 2.
What a great set of rolls from everyone except Matt. Okay, so you all understand perfectly what Owlin is motioning to you.
I go up against the wall behind the door next to Alan.
Soldier stuff. I'm going to post up behind Alan's calf.
I won't say anything, but I'll pull out the scrap I found and forgot to tell everyone about.
Alan's pre-raging.
Pre-raging?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Zoth didn't tell us.
I love that. Okay, so you're all stacked up against the wall. I need the marching order here. Owlin's in front. Who's right behind Owlin?
Yeah.
So, Jeb said he was at Alan's calf.
Oh, yeah, so Jeb's next.
Yeah, I think technically I'm right. Sorry, I didn't mean to take your turn.
Jeb's next. Then
Zoth.
And then Fox?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are all stacked up at the door.
As right when we get up, Zoth will just pull up the scrap and show everyone and just whisper, "It's fresh."
All right, roll for initiative, but don't tell me what you rolled yet. You're stacked at the door for the surprise round, and an angry Owlin gets to tell me what he does as the door swings inwards just enough for one of the private security goons' forces to peek through, leaving you face to face, eye to eye with a shocked human. He is one of 3, and they mirror your party on the other side of the door. So basically, there are 3 of them stacked up against the wall, and there are 4 of you stacked up against the wall. The door is peeked open just a little bit between so that the first one has made eye contact with you. He holds 2 dark pitons in his hands. Each of them is glowing with orange cipher energy. What do you do?
Alan is going to immediately attempt to just run him through with his greatsword. He's been around the corner. It's okay, first guy that enters, I know where the goal is surprise here. Just gonna go for it. 15.
You successfully hit him
Let's
with your greatsword. Roll damage.
5 plus 3 is 8, plus 2 is 10. And then I'm gonna bonus action slice. It's a run through, a takeout, and then a slice.
You don't need to roll to hit. You're right next to him. Just roll your damage.
Oh, heck yeah.
Got him.
8 plus 5 is 13.
13. So you hit him and you would run him through, but he steps just a little bit to the side so that it scrapes off of his ribs, and then you turn and you slash across him for another 13, so for a total of 23 points of damage. He staggers back through the doorway, clearly surprised and very wounded, but not dead, and he yells to his 2 companions. He goes, "It's them, it's them!" And he dives out of the way of the door, leaving 2 more of them facing the door. The next one behind the door is going to try and attack you, so he's going to roll to hit with his batons to see if he can hit you. That's a natural 20.
Oh, dang it. That just barely hits.
Followed by a natural 1.
That one just barely misses.
Which I'm going to say the 2 of them cancel out, and then his 6 does not hit you. So lucky you, dude. He swings one of his batons at you, and as he swings it, you can actually hear the air sizzle as it swings past your face.
Oh, no.
But you were stacked up at the door and prepared for an attack, so you just kind of lean back a little bit, and it doesn't hit you.
Easy.
That's going to bring us to Jebediah. You have 20 seconds, Jeb.
Does one of them look weaker than the others?
No, because there's 2 of them you can see through the door. The other one dove out of the way of the door. So the one who's been wounded, you can't see anymore.
All right, Jeb's going to grab his blunderbuss and he's going to like crank it up like he does when he's firing a lightning bolt, but he's not going to do it as much. It's going to be and I'm going to cast lightning lore. I need a strength save from one of them.
21.
Oh, dang. That's a whole bunch. He dodges out of the way of it. Almost like a taser goes out of the way of it. When he pulls it back in, it would have yanked them towards him, him and Owlin specifically. But it like pops off of them. Careful, guys. They're strong.
Zothkug, you have 20 seconds. What are you doing?
How many can I see?
You can see 2 of them through the door. And the door is just a little bit cracked open. So like you would have to, swing it open to walk through or do something ranged.
Would opening the door constitute an action?
Probably yes.
Okay.
That puts us at, you spent your 20 seconds. So Zoth is trying to figure out what to do next. As he sizes up his options, Fox, you have 20 seconds. What are you going to do?
I'm going to get up against the side of the door and try to motion for us to back up. And I'm going to prepare a sneak attack.
So the other side from Owlin?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Fox makes his way around to the other side of the door and just readies his sneak attack, gets kind of in position with his dagger. You sit there waiting for someone to come through the door, but nobody does. Instead, you hear the footsteps of all 3 of them kind of backing slowly away from the door. And then you hear one of them go, "Release the Beastie."
Oh, no.
And in the distance, something growls. And you know what that means. It means it's story time at the Wing Badger Tavern. And we will be right back.
Zanir, Gaunteus, Kotix, Owara. Long ago, the 4 ancients created a world in harmony. Then, everything changed when the chat emped magic. Only Kelnor, master of good vibes, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. 2 years have passed, and 4 adventurers have discovered a conspiracy, a company selling magic. And although their roleplay is great, they have a lot of XP to earn before they're ready to save anyone. But I believe they can save the world.
Let's meet our players for the evening.
Hello, my name is Fox, played by the human Matt. I am a changeling rogue, and I'm about to go fight a beastie. Hopefully win.
What's up? My name's Jebediah Peppermint. I'm played by the fantabulous Wash. I'm a molefolk gun wizard. Wash always says that I spit fire. I don't really do that, but I do fire spit. Yep.
Hello, I am Owlin, Owlin Woodrear. I am an Azamar Barbarian Artificer that is played by Jake, who always messes up the character intros, but I think managed to somehow save this one.
Hi, I'm Trevor. I play Zothkug, and I want it to be different, and I switched the order of introduction from what everyone else did. He is an orc cleric, by the way.
And I'm Josh, your Wing Badger Game Master. All right, let's jump right back into combat here and see if you can survive the Beastie.
I'm sure it's
now,
fine.
you may be wondering who the Beastie is. We'll find out in a little bit because you can't see
It's
it.
a wee beastie.
Right now,
It'll be all right.
right now, as they have cleared the way from the door, you kind of lean forward and peek through. Stretching out ahead of you, there's the central spire, which is now suspended because the tower has fallen at 45 degrees. So almost like a half rooftop or cover from the ceiling or something like that. There's this central spire that stretches away from you. It's 30 shins across in diameter. And it was the glass reinforced experiment chambers where all of the different tests were conducted on the items of artifice within the AO's Lore Foundation. Now, several of them have shattered, and you can see all kinds of tools and leftover experiment parts and whatnots have fallen out and all strewn about the room. There's also the spiraling staircase that goes around all 5 stories of this that once so long ago, Owlin Woodrear was able to sneak his way up in a game of hide and seek. That staircase is largely intact, meaning that at any point you can sort of take cover behind it, and it provides about half cover for you to crouch behind. In the floor, which used to be the wall, are the clerical workrooms with the desks for transcription and restoration of scrolls and things like that. Those have all essentially become giant pit traps that are extending below you. So it's very difficult terrain to pick your way over, a lot of climbing and maneuvering shattered glass, a lot of environmental obstacles. As you look into the room, you do not yet see the Beastie, but you do see 3 squads of private security goons.
Oh, no.
Each of them has 3 people in it, and we're going to denote them by color, even though it's too dark for you to see color, just so that you can separate them. So there's a yellow squad, a green squad, and a red squad. And yellow squad are the ones that Alan just like sliced one of them up, and they're on the floor with the batons in front of you. The others are green squad, which are on the roof rappelling from it. This is an 80 shin diameter floor, so now the roof is 80 shins high. So that's out of thrown range, out of most projectiles. They are up on the roof kind of watching. And then there are also red squad who are at the very bottom of the room. It looks like kind of holding the door to the next area, because if you can get through this room, the next thing that awaits you is the proper library of the Eoslor Foundation Tower.
I want to go there.
For the purposes of our combat, mechanically speaking, each squad is one entity. So they have collective hit points, and when they reach 2/3 hit points, one of them dies, and so on and so forth. They attack once, like the squad rolls an attack, and the squad moves as one. So like they have a turn in initiative order. And their attack is a multi-attack when they're at full health, so they'll get less attacks each turn, but like it'll all come at once just for the sake of us keeping it easy to understand. I would love to get you guys to roll initiative so that we can do this thing in order.
Ooh.
I've got 18.
17.
15.
Technically, 0.
All right. So, to recap, we have just wounded a member of Yellow Squad. The 3 of them have retreated from the door, but are not yet out of combat range. They're in what we would call close territory. You can run up to them and hit them, whatever. The ground is difficult terrain. There are environmental hazards. I may challenge you with some of them. There's 1 squad on the ceiling who are out of reach, and there's a squad at the very end of this level of the tower who are also currently out of reach. They're just over... I guess they're just barely in reach. They're 50 shins away. So the longest things you do can hit them, but you certainly can't melee them this turn. You know that there is a beastie. You've heard it growl. You have no idea where it is. There is no light in this room except the dim glow of orange ciphers, which seem to be coming from all 3 squads. They all have some kind of ciphers engaged. And that brings us to the top of initiative order, which is Jebediah Peppermint. 20 seconds.
What's my fastest path to the door?
To the door on the other end, it's probably to go in a straight line, but along the winding stairs so that you can hold on to structural things. So that would be 3 rounds if you were not attacked. It would take you 3 rounds to get there.
I'm going to use my action and my dash to move along there and stay behind that half cover or whatever cover it was.
As this is difficult terrain, that means that you're basically moving your full move speed, which is why it would take you 3 rounds at full speed to get there.
Okay.
So you move, what is that, 25 feet for Jeb, I think?
25
20?
feet. Yep.
Okay, 25 feet. So you're halfway there, actually. So never mind. That's fine.
Living on a prayer.
Zothkug, your turn. 20 seconds. What are you doing?
Is Alan within reach of me?
Alan's at the door with you.
Okay, cool. I'm going to cast Warding Bond. While the target is within 60 feet of you, it gains +1 bonus AC and saving throws, and it has resistance to all damage. Also, each time it takes damage, you take the same amount of damage. It lasts 1 hour.
Nice spell.
The next thing that you hear, all of you, Jeb from his point in, he's 25 feet away. He's kind of taking cover behind the stairs. Owlin is feeling the effects of this kind of bonus come to him. The other 2 of you are posted up at the door, and you hear another growl reverberate around the room. And then all of a sudden, the beast begins moving. You hear this rush as it sprints forwards into the darkness. You still can't see it, but it begins flinging rubble and glass and shards up as it sprints from the back of the room.
Oh, no.
Where it seems Red Squad have just opened a cage of some kind and allowed something to rush forwards. Jeb, you can hear the footsteps get closer and closer. It may only be like 5 or 6 feet from you, but it doesn't see you because you're taking cover behind the thing.
I'm not scared.
That brings us to Fox. 20 seconds, my guy.
Wow. Okay. I feel like so it's definitely looking at our door, right?
It's sprinting towards you, but you can't see it yet.
Okay. I'm not going to care about the people seeing me, but I'm going to try to hide from it and try to get to Jeb.
Okay, so like maybe sliding along the floor or something like that. Okay.
Right.
To move stealthily, I will give you 2 options. You can roll stealth at disadvantage, or you can be guaranteed to stay stealthy, but you'll only make it half the distance to Jeb.
I rolled at disadvantage. I rolled a nat 20 in that. My other roll got me a stealth check. Thank God my stealth check is good. I got a 12.
You make your way through the door. You're crouched low to the ground. You're moving forwards. And just as you think you're about to like get to where Jeb is, you feel as you step on a shard of glass. And at the same time, you hear, again, the same beast begins growling and breathing heavily as it looks towards you. And you can suddenly see a giant insectoid face with these huge mandibles looking towards you. This is an Umber Hulk. And to learn anything about them, one of you will have to roll something. But that's what the beast is called. And it is on the other side of Jeb's cover. From where you've frozen, you've still managed to duck behind something, but it's looking towards you. So unless something happens to change it, it's basically aggroed. So next turn, it'll go looking for you. But you are about 5-6 feet away from Jebediah Peppermint.
Right.
The rest of you are also aware of the beast now. That brings us to Yellow Squad, who have 20 seconds to take their turns. Yellow Squad are going to try and sweep in behind you, Fox, and flush you out to fight the beast. Fox, what is your dexterity score? In fact, you can just make a dexterity save. That's probably a better way to do this.
11.
All right, you are unsuccessful at sliding out of their line of sight as they attack you. Each of them has 2 of these batons. One of them takes a swing and doesn't connect with you. But the next one who attacks you gets a 14. Is that enough to hit Fox?
Attacker wins.
In a tie?
Attacker wins.
All right.
Yep.
So he hits you with his baton. I need you to make a wisdom save with a DC of 12.
Oh boy. Fox, he's not doing good. Bug really threw him. He failed.
You take 8 points of damage, and your vision goes completely dark.
Oh, shoot.
For 1 round until your next turn, you are completely blinded. So on your next turn, you will still be blind, but when it concludes, you will have your sight again. Not that you could see very much to start with in this mostly dark room as a rogue who doesn't have dark vision, but that's the situation that we're in. The next turn is going to be Green Squad, who are hanging from the wall right now. So there are 3 people who are up on the wall above, basically watching the fight, and they're going to just hold their turn right now. They're just maneuvering to stay out of range of any spells you might cast or things you might throw. But otherwise, they are observing at the moment to let the fight continue. That brings us to Initiative Order 10, and Initiative Order 10 means that somebody adds a die to the tension pool.
Bum, bum, bum.
And then we find ourselves at Red Squad's turn. Poor Owlin with his 0.
Yeah, it's rough.
Red Squad are down by the door, holding the door and basically watching to make sure everything, nobody gets through the door itself. They're also going to delay their action and see if the Beastie and Yellow Squad can finish you off. Now it is Owlin's turn. Owlin, you're at the door. Jebediah is cowering behind, not cowering, but he's covering behind the half-high staircase with an Umber Hulk on the other side of it. Fox is about 5 feet away from him with 2 people attacking him with clubs. And he seems to be blind. He's kind of like looking around, but doesn't seem to be actually making eye contact with anything. And Zothkug is still behind you, safe in the door. You have 20 seconds. What will you do?
Okay, the plan is, I'll lay out the whole plan. Try to finish off this guy that he's damaged a little bit in Yellow Squad. And then if he isn't able to finish him off with the first one, finish him off with the second one. If he is, hit another guy in Yellow Squad with the second attack, and send the homunculus, whose name I'm so good at remembering, Brad. Send Brad up to the Ceiling Squad, because it seems like no one's able to deal with Ceiling Squad right now. So send Brad up to Ceiling Squad to start attacking them.
Cool. Let's start with your attacks then. So you're attacking one of the guys on Yellow Squad.
Nat 20 for the first one.
Nice. That one hits.
Second one total is going to be 21.
Okay.
Dirty 21.
Let's go.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. So roll your crit damage for me. Let's see how badly you beat up Yellow Squad.
Let's beat up Yellow Squad. Shall we?
This is just like Pokemon Go all over again.
19 damage on that first hit. 13 damage on the second.
He does finally fall to the ground.
Let's go.
As he falls, you notice that there's another cipher on his shoulder that's glowing. It's a small box, and you actually hear through it someone go, "Green Squad engage."
They're like Black Ops. It's a real hit squad going on.
That's Alan's turn, and that brings us to initiative order.
Well, Brad.
Oh, you're right, Brad. What's Brad doing?
Flying up to Ceiling Squad and then trying to claw at them,
Okay,
attack.
so it's a claw attack is
Yeah.
what he's doing.
Yeah,
So he rolled to hit. He did hit.
7 damage, max damage.
It doesn't seem to have really upset them very much. They're like, "What is this?" They're kind of like flitting their hands around.
Yeah.
But he's up there. He's doing his thing. Brad's contributing.
Yeah, he's trying to start wearing them down. He's not like a full-on heavy attack.
Brad's a member, though. He's here. He's doing the thing.
He's there. He's doing his
Brad's
best.
the 5th guy,
Exactly.
Okay, that brings us to initiative order 20, which is where lair actions would take place. There are some lair actions here.
Oh, no.
Because the different squads who are in this room have set up some different traps and area denial things.
Uh-oh.
And so as you hear that radio call that says Green Squad engage, you see up near Brad the Homunculus, one of Green Squad drops down just like maybe 6 feet on a rope and smashes a cipher, like hits the button on a cipher really decisively as if he's setting off a detonation, except instead of an explosive going off, Jeb and Fox, at your feet, a bunch of weeds sprout up and attempt to entangle you and hold you in place. And I need you each to roll a strength check.
I got a
Where's
12.
my D20? Here it is. Okay, well that's good. It's a dex save, you said?
No, it's a strength save.
Oh,
That's bad.
oh, that's
Podcast
a 14.
listeners, Matt's literally got a shirt like wrapped over his eyes right now to simulate his blindness. Sorry, what'd you get, Fox? 14. Okay, Fox, you are like, you're so jumpy with your eyesight gone that like as soon as you feel something on your feet, you like high step away from it and they don't entangle you. But Jebediah, unfortunately, you're so focused on staying out of sight of the squads on either side of you or the squad in the Umber Hulk that the vines begin wrapping around you. You are restrained, but only at your legs. So you can still cast spells, but to escape, you would have to devote an action to using like an acrobatics or an athletics check, whichever you chose to do. That brings us to the top of initiative order, which is Jebediah Peppermint.
How far is the door away from me? You said I was halfway. Can I see it?
I guess so. Yes, you can see
All
it.
right. Fox,
Huh?
I don't know what's going on,
Where?
but be good, buddy. This thing is going to kill me, so I got to go. And I'm going to cast Misty Fog Step on myself and just boom, and vanish out from the vines and appear at the door behind the goons.
Jeb?
So the goons are backs to the door.
Like they're laying against the door?
I mean, it's 45 degrees. So yeah, I guess it's sort of laying. They're crouching is the way that I pictured it. But they're like crouching where the V of the floor is. So like the floor.
Well, then
ends and
I'll
the
be
door
on the
begins.
door behind them. Like maybe
Okay,
over
cool.
the lip of the top of the door then. So I can kind of like
Ooh.
down behind it.
Got it. Roll a stealth check for me to see if they notice you appear there. And I'm going to roll their perceptions with disadvantage because there's so much else going on.
Gotcha. I rolled a natural 1. So I probably misjudged it and landed like 3 feet above the ground to where I intended to, and then just like flopped down. Yep.
Oh, like maybe slid down a little bit and some like
Yeah.
dirt and rubble kind of. Okay. So they do look up and see you, but they haven't quite made sense of what they see yet. That will maybe come for their turn, but you're definitely not hidden there. And that brings us to Zoth.
I do have
Go
a little
ahead, sorry.
movement. Can I move behind? Is there like any cover that's there?
There's plenty of like rubble and dirt, so you can definitely try. Go ahead and roll another stealth for me, and let's see if you can find enough of a pile to hide behind.
All right. 11. And I'd like to dig into a pile of dirt if there is one there. Just kind of down into it.
This room is mostly like steel and glass construction, so there's not really any dirt to like burrow into.
Not big enough.
Yeah. But
Gotcha.
you are able to nestle into something, and you're fairly confident that like even if they know that something landed behind them, you think you might have gotten behind cover before they had a chance to actually spot what it was.
Gotcha.
You
Nice.
also, as you find yourself there behind cover, you hear like a voice almost talking to itself. And it's kind of echoey, and the voice goes, "It's just a matter of torque, Nigel. If we just up the torque, the wings are going to work fine." And that brings us to Zothkug's turn. Zothkug, as a reminder, Jebediah has now teleported away for safety, but Fox is still about halfway down the room. He's being attacked by 2 people with batons and is blind until his turn. Owlin is also now at the same spot, kind of engaged in the melee, and there are some entangling vines, but they seem to have stopped moving, so it's not like they're grabbing new things, it's just difficult terrain to walk through. Because the floor was already so damaged, there's a good chance that like if you try and go straight through the room, you're probably not going to make it. Like it's just too much to pick your way around. It would take your whole turn just to focus on stepping and not damaging yourself. At the roof, there are still the 3 members of Green Squad fighting like Brad the Homunculus. And there are 3 members of Red Squad who are at the very far end of the room near Jebediah, but they don't, like, they're looking around, but they don't seem to have noticed exactly where he is. From your vantage point at the top of the room, you can see him nestled behind like a little pile of debris.
Okay.
20 seconds. What are you doing?
Is Green Squad within 60 feet of me?
No, they're at least 80 shins high, probably further since you're not directly under them.
Okay. I'm going to spend my whole turn moving towards Alan.
You're able to make it to Owlin, who has not yet entered the vine field yet. So you and Owlin are now about 20 feet into the room, and you're basically engaged in a fight with Yellow Squad. As you move towards them, they're going to use the opportunity attack, basically, of you entering their combat range to try and hit you. It's just one person who swings at you, and they do a very bad job with a 7. That's not going to hit your AC, right?
No.
Okay, so they swing a baton at you, but you're like approaching the fight, so you just kind of dodge and move away, and that's fine. Are you doing anything besides moving?
I'm casting guidance on Alan. You touch one willing creature once before the spell ends. The target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to one ability check of its choice.
Nice.
It can roll before or after making the ability check.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the Umber Hulk's turn. The Umber Hulk, which is obviously able to see Owlin because he's engaged in a fight with Yellow Squad, sprints straight towards and tries to fight. I'm going to roll to see if he hits Owlin or if he hits 2 of the members of Yellow Squad who are there, because they just released this angry beast into the fight. Unfortunately, he did roll to hit Owlin. So Owlin, the Umber Hulk is going to attack you, and it's going to come after you with its claws. It's going to try and
Remember,
take
you
a
have +1.
swipe at you. His first attack definitely misses you with an 11, right? That's not going to hit you.
That is a miss.
Okay, but the second one's a 19. That's a hit.
Oh, that hits, yeah.
Okay, so that one's going to hit you, and it's going to deal... it deals 13 damage, so with your resistance, that would be...
6.
7.
Six round... Yeah, because we round down, so 6. 6 points of damage as it slashes you with one of its claws.
Belly casts boon.
Ooh.
Belly casts a boon for you. Thanks, chat, for that boon. We'll see what happens as soon as Fox's turn ends, because it is Fox's turn next. Yes. So Fox, as a recap, your eyes, they almost work. It actually has to be the end of your turn before your eyes work. So you're blind, but you can sense that a bunch of things are happening
whoops.
near you.
Wait.
You felt some big beast rush past. You heard the claws swiping as it attacked Owlin, and you also hear like the whoosh of batons, although they haven't connected with anything yet. You're pretty sure you might have heard Zothkug's voice as well. All of those things are near you. If you want to do a specific action to one of them, then I will need you to roll like a perception to identify where they are. Although I'm going to actually give the group the option of using Belly's boon to say that Fox gets his sight back at the beginning of this turn instead of the end.
Unless you guys think I need help, I don't think I need it.
If you don't think you need it, I'm fine with that.
I think he's got it.
Okay.
Yeah, if he doesn't think so.
All right. Then that is your situation. What will you do?
Remember when you said you'll do something specific? Yeah, I will specifically move away from all of the sounds I am hearing. Preferably trying to stay close to the ground, as if though perhaps I might end up behind cover. Who knows?
Okay. Roll a stealth check at disadvantage.
Well, I mean, both rolls were pretty bad, but good thing my stealth good. That is a 12.
Roll a dexterity save.
Oh boy. 11.
All right. So you are behind cover, but you're behind cover because you fell into one of the workrooms. So you take
Oh boy.
10 points of
oh no.
10 points of slashing damage as you fall through the glass, like it was a glass window that's broken over it, like an office wall, you know? You fall through that glass wall and into, it's only 10 feet deep, but you fall into, or 20 feet deep, I should say, but you fall into the pit basically. So you'll need to like literally climb your way back out. You also, when you land, you like smack your head and get your sight back. Your sight works now. But you are also out of the fray. There's no one immediately able to attack you. Looking straight up, you can still see some of Green Squad as they kind of, scamper about on the rooftop there. That brings us to Yellow Squad. Now, Belly cast a boon on us, so what I was thinking is one of the squads might be in disarray from the Umber Hulk. So as the Umber Hulk ran forward to attack Owlin, maybe it knocked Yellow Squad off their feet in its fury to reach you. And so they're actually prone for the turn and will use their whole action to stand up and basically reset themselves. So that's going to be the boon that chat gave you, which brings us to Green Squad on the rooftop. Fox, you and Jeb actually, I guess, are the only two who have a clear line of sight on Green Squad at the moment, just because of the way that the battlefield is arrayed. Each of you can see all 3 members of Green Squad lift up small kind of cylindrical contraptions, not unlike what you found in the Aboleth's lair. And Jeb, they're like really narrow versions of your gun. They're like really narrow, like they have some kind of magnifier on the top of them. They lift those up and you can see they actually, as they lift them, they glow with cipher energy.
Bruh.
And when they fire, you see little crystalline shards of ice come out. They're going to attack Zothkug, who's the furthest back from the Umber
It's
Hulk.
Mr. Freeze stuff.
Roll me a dexterity save 3 times.
Oh, geez.
11, 12, third one is a 13.
So the first one hits you, but then you look up and see them coming, and you're able to jump out of the way of the other 2. So that's 7 points of damage that it hits you for.
Dang.
Wow.
All 3 of them, when they hit the ground, regardless of you're actually getting out of the way of the shard, each of them also explodes. And this one affects the Umber Hulk, Owlin, and Zothkug.
Wow.
All of you take 10 points of cold damage as the ice shards or the ice knives explode.
But I take 5 because of my blessing.
Ooh, he's so blessed. He's too blessed to be stressed about this stuff.
Too blessed to
Hashtag
be
blessed.
stressed.
Too blessed
So-
to be stressed.
I just want to imagine as they shot this, you're like, it looks like you're a little heated down there. Let's cool you off.
Time to cool down.
They're actually all Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is now
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger Squad.
Nice.
That brings us to
This was the Green Squad, right?
Yes.
yeah,
that was
this
Green
was-
Squad, yeah.
Green Squad, Ceiling Squad, Schwarzenegger Squad. They're all the same squad.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that brings us to 10 in the initiative order. So we're adding our 4th tension die to the pool. And now we are at initiative order 5, which is Red Squad. Jeb, in front of you, you can see a couple things happen. Firstly, one of Red Squad takes a knee and picks up the little box on his shoulder. And he calls into it and he goes, "Things aren't going so great here. We might need to use the fail safes." The other 2 people at the front of Red Squad are going to try and spot you. So you can roll another stealth check, and they're going to roll perception to see if they can find you because they're pretty sure someone's behind them.
15.
Okay,
Not too bad.
one of them did spot you. The other one did not. So the one that spots you is going to immediately quick draw a revolver and try and hit you with it. Does a 14 pass your AC?
14 does hit.
All right. 4 points of damage. You're behind partial cover, so it like glints off your shoulder a little bit rather than actually hitting you. And he yells to his comrades for the next round, "I see him, he's up there!" And that brings us to Owlin's turn in the initiative order. So to recap what's happening, you and the Umber Hulk are the 2 people, like you're still right next to each other. Yellow Squad has gotten back to their feet, but they are not in combat range of you. They're like a little bit further back. They're not in melee range, I should say.
Okay.
And then behind you, Zothkug has like high stepped out of the way of some ice shards that were exploding near him, or some ice knives. Green Squad up above have fired those at you, but they do all look like, at a quick glance, it looks like they might have to take a round to reload before they can fire them again. You're not sure where Fox is. He fell completely out of vision.
Alan is prioritizing the fact that he's raging right now. So he's going to attack and then frenzy attack on the Umber Hulk. And then Brad is going to once again attack the firing squad. Schwarzenegger squad. That's what Brad's going to attack them again.
Okay. I'll roll for Brad while you roll for you, and then you could just add his mods. Just to
I
save
roll
on
for
time.
me. Okay. Oh, I got a 9 and a 16 on my 2 attacks against the Umber Hulk.
So you attack it, but it's like you realize like this thing is covered in natural armor. Its skin is like exoskeleton protected, and both times your sword like glances off of it.
Dang, so the 16 doesn't hit.
No, it doesn't. At the same time, Brad does much better with his 19,
Yeah.
attacking
Oh,
one of the
yeah.
members of Schwarzenegger Squad. Remind me his damage, or you can just roll it.
He does 5 damage just now.
And they're just trying to like still focus on the fight with you. Like they're like swatting him
Yeah.
aside, but they haven't actually devoted. Like we don't, they're not trying to fight him back yet.
That's where he operates best.
This brings us back to the top of the initiative order. No lair actions will take place at this point in time, and so it is Jebediah's turn. Jeb, do you need a recap, or do you remember what's going on?
All right, very important. Well, let me ask some questions and then you can do your recap. I want to line everybody up. I want to, like, the red guys in front of me, I want to line them and the Umber Hulk, like move myself into a position so that they're lined up. And if I do that, can I also line up the green guys?
Okay, you can line up one guy from, so yes, for the mechanical perspective, because you can line up one person from red and green and the Umber Hulk, but all of those squads are fanned out horizontally across the room. So, from the end of the room where you are, you could only hit one.
Understood. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to line them up. And instead of only hitting one, I'm going to charge up a lightning bolt, which has 100-foot range, which will extend from where I am behind the green guys all the way to the other end of the building.
Awesome. They get a save for half damage on a lightning bolt attack, right?
They get a dex save.
Okay. Also, What level is that spell? Or what level are you casting
That
it
is a
at?
3rd level spell.
Okay.
Oh, ho, ho.
So you line up the lightning bolt and you line up the shot and you have everything perfect and you pull the trigger and something really weird happens.
I don't like that.
At Red Squad's feet, there is a small device on a tripod on 3 legs, and it's got a little whirring motor on top
They have
of
a
it.
trophy
It
machine.
was tucked into
Literally my thought.
like debris, so you didn't pick it out at first. It literally fires a small white flare up in the air, and your lightning bolt hits it, and counterspell takes effect on the lightning bolt, and the spell doesn't have any effect. As it goes off, you can see one of the Red Squad guys look down at it and go, "Someone needs to reload that." Do you take any move actions?
Heck yeah, I do. I use as much move as possible to go up above the door, up the wall, and behind some cover.
All right. 2 options again for your move. Either you can provoke a ranged opportunity attack from Red Squad, or you can roll athletics to like scramble really quickly up there. Which would you prefer?
I'll take an attack of opportunity.
That's a 12. That does not beat your AC, right?
My AC is 12, so that hits.
Oh, darn. I hate to see it. Second revolver shot goes off as Red Squad make an attempt at stopping you with 3 hit points of damage as another revolver shot whoosh, whistles past and like takes you just kind of grazingly across the arm or something like that. And that brings us in initiative order to Zothkug's turn. So to recap, Zothkug, you are back near Owlin. So what you just saw is Owlin swing his greatsword twice, and each time, clang, clang, it just bounced off the like exoskeleton of this Umber Hulk towering over both of you. At the same time, you know that above you on the roof, Green Squad were recently firing ice projectiles at you, but it does look like they're going to need to take a turn to reload them, so you don't think they can do that again this round. You're not sure where Fox is. He's fallen out of sight. And on the other side of the room, you've just heard the revolver shot go off as Jeb scrabbles further up the wall to get behind cover. Those are the things you see. You have 20 seconds. What will you do?
I'm going to fire a guiding bolt at a Green Squad member. They're within 120, right? You said they're 80 feet away?
Yes.
Okay, this is a 120-foot range.
Got it. So you fire a guiding bolt at Green Squad.
Level 3 is going to be 66 damage.
Whoa.
Did they save for half or anything?
It's a
like that?
ranged attack. That's a 10.
Oh.
Does a 10 hit?
No, it does not. So you fire your guiding bolt at them, but they kind of see you like look up at them because they were literally aiming at you recently, and so they scatter as you cast your spell, and it guiding bolt flies up at the ceiling. However, when you hit the ceiling, I'm going to roll a percentile here, and Jeb's going to roll a percentile, and Matt's going to tell me whether Jeb's number needs to be higher or lower for a chunk of the ceiling to fall when guiding bolt impacts it.
Lower.
Okay, Jeb, you need to roll lower than an 80 for a chunk of the ceiling to fall.
I don't know how this is translated, but I rolled a 0 on both dice.
That's a 100. 100 is higher than 80, so a chunk of the ceiling does not fall. Are you taking any move actions off?
Could I move more into the hallway without a provoking opportunity attack?
Yes, because they have to reload in order to fire.
I meant from the Umber Hulk.
Yeah, it's engaged with
Okay.
Owlin right now. It's not going to opportunity attack
Then
you. It
I
seems pretty
will
focused.
slip past him and continue in the hallway a little bit.
Because of the entangle vines that are on the ground, you're only able to make it another 10 or 15 feet toward 15 feet, because that's half your move speed. So 15 feet towards the hallway, which puts you about 2/3 down the length of the room now. So Red Squad see you, but you're still able to there's some cover and stuff around
Okay.
you. That brings us to the Umber Hulk's turn. The Umber Hulk, which just, repelled 2 attacks from Owlin, is definitely going to attack back.
Oh,
Being right next to you, it's
no.
going to use its full multi-attack, which is a bite and 2 slashes.
No.
11 and 18 with its claws. Do either of those hit you?
11 misses, 18 hits.
And then its bite, it rolled a confirmed nat 1, so it
Nice.
misses. And we'll come up with some kind of penalty for it in a second here. So the claw that hits you deals 10 points of slashing damage, which of course are halved for you
5.
because of your resistance. But it slashes you again, and it's also going to attempt to shove you over. However, because of that crit fail, it's going to overextend itself. So I still need a strength check from you to keep your feet, but it's going to throw itself off balance and then fall prone at the beginning of the next round.
Nice. I got a 13 on the strength.
It rolled a 15 on the strength. So it's
Dang
able to
it.
shove you and off balance you. You can either fall prone or you can roll a dex save to avoid falling into a workroom. Your choice.
That
If you fall prone, you're on the same plane you're on. No damage. You just have to stand up next turn.
but if I succeed, so it's like risk reward as far as the dex
Exactly.
save thing. I'll risk reward it. I'll roll the dex.
Ooh.
All right. Dexterity save, your DC to beat is 13.
You're laughing because
I got a 0.
You got a 0. All right. You find yourself falling backwards.
Oh, no.
Some glass is going to kind of slash your shoulder a little bit as you fly by for 8 points of damage.
I shouldn't have done that.
Luckily you have resistance to that. You have resistance to that from your rage, but the glass slashes you for 4 points of damage then. And Fox, you hear a thud next to you as Owlin falls into the same workroom that you are in. So again, it's about 20 feet vertical to get out of the room. So you'll either need to climb or there's plenty of rubble to pile up. You would just have to push it into a pile for one round and then you could walk up it that way.
Alan just replies,
yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
That brings us to Fox's turn. Fox, do you need a recap of what you see? Or are you
We
ready?
got another boon from chat.
Just to double check, I see
Awesome.
my friend Alan on the ground in front of me. I'm in a workroom, and there's a bunch of rubble around me, and otherwise I can only really see the green people.
That is exactly correct. And the rubble includes some wood things because there were desks in this room. So if you wanted to, I guess, set something on fire, that's a detail you have now.
Yeah.
You also, if you want to come up with a use for the boon, like you can pitch one and the group can approve it. We'll figure out how to work it in there that way too.
When in doubt, set things on fire.
Your 20 seconds begin now.
Okay, so I'm not going to set a fire. I'm going to pile up the rubble, and then if I can still move, I'm going to try to sneak out back onto the same plane as everyone else.
Roll a stealth check, no disadvantage. So he takes his whole turn basically to shove things into a sort of crude ramp. Owlin, you will be able to use this as well, so you don't need to make another
I would
one.
like to remind everybody, I have a +9 to stealth.
I don't believe it.
I rolled an 11.
You can spend your boon to roll it again.
Does the rest of the group want to do that? I don't think it's worth it. So yeah, I take the 11.
Cool.
You make your way out as stealthily as you can. Unfortunately, Yellow Squad, who are a little bit spaced away from the actual fight with the Umber Hulk, notice you climbing up out of it, and they're going to take one opportunity attack to try and hit you with a club and knock you back.
It's like, yes, finally got out of that hole.
Got my sight back. Got my climbing up here.
I got my groove back.
Yeah, got his groove back, and then they rolled a 10 to hit you. Does that hit you?
No, get out of here.
Okay, so they swing a baton at you, but now you know they have the batons. You're like, I don't think so. And you kind of like duck out of the way of it. That brings us to Yellow Squad, who are right next to you. Here's their 20 seconds on screen. Yellow Squad are going to attack you. There's only 2 of them left. They're going to use their full multi-attack to attack you. So that's a baton swing from each. However, one of them rolled a confirmed nat 1. So the one that you dodged when he made his opportunity attack, you're able to like redirect his baton hit into his friend. And so he actually hits his friend with the baton and deals some damage.
I'm matrix dodging.
And then also that's going to grant them disadvantage on the next round of things they do because now that one guy is blind. The one who you redirected is going to immediately like just take a couple steps back from the fight to like
disengage,
not get hit by you again. Basically, yeah, it's just a short little disengage. That concludes Yellow Squad's turn and brings us to Green Squad, who have been watching from the roof. Green Squad are going to fire another round of ice shards or ice knives. They're going to fire one at Zothkug, one at Jeb, and one at Fox, now that they have kind of a line on where everybody is. So Zothkug...
Except for Owlin, who's still lying on the ground.
Zothkug, they miss.
Yay.
Jeb, they rolled a 14 to hit.
Shield.
Does that just negate the damage entirely?
It bumps my AC by 5 for this round.
You are able to just kind of like get out of you're on the other side of the room from them basically, so like you can see it coming from a long way away. Fox, who's doing his really cool matrix dodge, is not so lucky as they confirm a critical hit with an ice shard on you.
Oh no. The most anticlimactic Matrix
yeah,
moment.
just be like, it's as I finish the matrix dodging.
The bullet time finishes spinning.
Yeah.
It finishes spinning around you. You strike like a cool pose, like you make a cool face, and then right from the roof above you, a shard just like comes down and hits you in the shoulder. It deals 10 points of piercing damage as the ice shard hits you, and then it explodes for 2d6 points of damage
Oh dang! And it hit him and then exploded.
Yeah, which is why I'm not giving him a save to get out of the way of it.
Oh no!
So you take another 6 points of cold damage as it explodes from within your shoulder.
Bruh.
It just like breaks apart. So that is the conclusion of Green Squad's turn. And again, they're continuously moving around to avoid being stationary targets, but otherwise they're not doing anything in particular as far as their motion. That's going to bring us to the tension die.
Ooh.
We're going to add our 5th tension die to the pool. We're real close. And then that brings us to Red Squad. Red Squad, who have been watching the fight, and now we're starting to see things kind of even out a little bit. One of them is going to try and climb up the rubble to get to Jeb. So he's climbing towards you with his move speed. He can't quite make it the whole way to you, but he's going to get as close as he can and then fire another revolver shot at you.
I can't believe they have magic trophy systems.
And magic sniper rifles
Yeah.
with AoE.
Jeb, he holds up the revolver, lines up the shot at you, and you realize that it's misfired. Something has gone wrong with his revolver. Each of them has a misfire chance I've literally been rolling for. At the same time, on the floor, a guy has run over to what we're calling the trophy system, the counter spell bot, and he's basically doing a reset to it. So he's just shoving some ciphers into the side, and you can see it begin charging. Based on the rate at which the lights are going up, you have a feeling it'll take about 3 rounds of combat before it's active again.
One trick pony.
The remaining member of Red Squad he's going to stay by the door and continue kind of guarding the door. For this turn. And that brings us to Owlin, who's just laying on the ground listening to the dulcet tones of his friends being shot by ice knives. Do you want a refresher on what you see?
No. Does Owlin need to use his entire move? Because he's prone and far away. How much is his full movement going to get him? How far?
His full movement can get him out of the pit and close enough to the Umber Hulk to re-engage, or 10 feet towards the door.
Okay, so he can get up and fight in the same turn this turn?
He can, but only with the Umber Hulk. Everyone else is out of reach.
Okay, that's fine. He wants to keep his rage, so he's going to get up and do that. Get up, engage again, fight. Yeah.
Luckily, Fox made you a nice ramp. So go ahead and roll your attack.
He's going to attack and bonus action attack.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them is going to miss. The other one is going to be 17 plus 6, which is 20.
That one definitely hits.
3. Okay.
So go ahead and roll damage for that one. So you swing at it and another one bounces off its arm and it looks towards you again. But before it can totally make eye contact, you identify a chink in the armor and you're like, I got it this time.
Nice. 10 plus 3 is 13 plus 2 is 15. So 15 damage
15
on that one.
Points of damage. Nice going.
And then Brad is also going to attack the sniper squad again.
Yep. Go ahead and roll
The
Brad's
sniper
to hit
squad.
Take down the HP for this guy.
Oh, Brad is probably going to miss. He got 9. 9 is probably going to miss.
Yes, the 9 is going to miss, unfortunately. So Brad
Yep.
flies towards them, and this time, because they just finished shooting, it's as he comes towards, they're able to just kind of scamper out of the way a little bit. They just kind of repel sideways a little bit.
Gotcha. Rainbow Six Siege style.
Yeah, very much Rainbow Six Siege style.
What are they?
Mechanically speaking, they actually are all wearing ciphers of Spider Climb. That's what they're actually doing. So to help
interesting.
explain why they have so much movement capabilities up there.
Oh.
What are you all right there, Wash?
That, my ladies and gentlemen, was the telltale sign
Uh-oh.
of Jeb's ingenuity kicking in.
Oh, I'm ready for it. So we are back at Initiative Order 20, and Green Squad is going to use a lair action. A different member of Green Squad is going to throw a small cylindrical cipher at the ground between Zothkug and the door as he's trying to approach. And Zoth, as it hits the ground and bursts, you see a bunch of magical grease kind of spread out over the floor. So now not only is it covered in sharp things, but when you walk on it, you're going to have to roll a save to avoid falling and sliding through the glass, taking some piercing damage. Or anyone else who walks through it. It's not just Zoth, but he's the closest to it right now.
Only orcs.
That puts us, only orcs. This is a racist grease. It attacks only orcs. That brings us to
Cancel?
Jebediah's turn in initiative order. Jeb, would you like a recap or are you ready for your 20 seconds?
I am ready for my 20 seconds, my
Go
good
ahead.
friend.
Let's do it.
This room's dark, right?
It's dark.
And Jeb's got superior dark vision, so he any source of light he could see in here, right?
Yeah.
Are there ciphers of Spider Climb glowing?
Seconds?
Yes, they are.
Magic missile 1, 2, 3 on their ciphers.
All right.
I want to destroy their ciphers and drop them down, however tall this tower is.
Love that. How much damage do your magic missiles deal? I do know the HP of a Cypher, so you haven't caught me completely unawares.
Okay.
Okay, he thinking.
You know what? I think for this first one, he's just going to scare them by focusing all of them at one cipher, just to kind of get an idea out of it.
Ooh.
So that's, I rolled 2 4s and a 1, so that's 8, 10, 12 damage.
As all of those thud into it, the first one hits it and some orange sparks glint off the side, and he looks down like, what? Another one hits it, and he's like, oh no! And he his hands are up there. He hasn't fallen yet. And the third one hits it, that last 1 HP of damage, and you can see the glow winks out. And he plummets from the ceiling 80 feet of fall damage.
Oh no!
Holy crap! Let me.
That's 8d6.
I'm just gonna roll the tension pool dice that I had over here to work. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8d6 of damage. Just a moment here while we tally the numbers. Talk amongst yourselves, I guess.
While we tally the dead.
Bro.
Yeah, tally the dead.
Jeb's gonna load another cartridge, like magic missile cartridge, into his blunderbuss and be like, "I've got more where that came from." But
It's like it's the Shaun of the. It's not Shaun of the Dead. It's Hot Fuzz. The shame,
Yeah, shame.
as he loads up.
Shame.
yeah, he's just like loading shells into it. Shame.
That was a nice shot.
Okay, so that guy falls
Nice,
and he
yeah.
dies on impact.
Nice, yeah.
He thuds into the ground. Owlin and the Umber Hulk both pause in their fight with each other, glance over and note that the thing has fallen, and then resume their enraged, totally singular focused fight with each other. That was 26
I got
points
more where
of
that
damage.
came from, Green Boys.
26 points of damage that Green Squad just took. Jeb, that was some ingenuity, and I understand why you were laughing so much. Are you moving at all, or are you is this what you're doing?
No, I think he's
There's a
gonna.
guy who's really close to you with a revolver, as a reminder.
Is he in melee range though?
No.
Then I'm gonna stay where I am.
Okay. You stay where you are. And that brings us to Zothkug's turn. Zoth, would you like a recap, or are you ready for your 20 seconds?
I am ready.
All right, 20 seconds on the clock. What you doing?
Is Red Squad within 60 feet of me?
Yes.
I'm going to cast Calm Emotions on the 3 of them that are there.
They roll, is that wisdom saves?
Charisma save.
Ooh.
How charismatic are these private security goons?
Well, they didn't become a bard now.
They are proficient in one-liners.
Okay, so there are 3 of them. So I rolled 3 times, and then I figured if, I would take the most numbers. So they either all fail or they all pass, just to keep them all together. Unfortunately, they all passed.
No.
We got a 14 and a nat 20. So you cast Calm Emotions, but it seems like nothing in particular happened.
Dang.
Um,
I'm not going to try and move through the grease yet. So I'll just spend the rest of my turn contemplating the meaning of this all.
What does it mean?
What is
brings
this
us to the
vibe?
Umber Hulk, who is locked in combat with Owlin.
Yep.
Owlin, the Umber Hulk, for the first time in this whole fight, locks eyes with you. And as it stares at you,
I was just an annoyance before.
as it locks eyes with you, you need to make a charisma save.
Uh-oh.
Number to beat is 15.
I got an 8.
I'm gonna use time compression to make him re-roll that, or let him re-roll that.
Oh, and plus I have a +4, but I still wouldn't have gotten it. But I'll remember that I have a +4 that I can use. I re-rolled, but only 1 better, so that's a 9 total. Plus 1 is 10. I got 10.
Oof.
Okay, now you can roll a d8 to find out what happens to you.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
2.
You implode instantly.
On a 1 to 4, the creature misses its next turn and does nothing. You're basically stunned by the gaze of this Umber Hulk.
I'm stun locked.
You're stun locked, exactly. So it looks into your eyes, stun locks you, and then now that you're all stunned, it's going to try and attack you, and I'm going to give it advantage on the attack because of your stun. Your AC remains the same, so it definitely hit you, but only with a claw. 11 points of slashing damage as it strikes you with its claws, so that becomes for you 5 points of damage as it slashes across you twice. And it's going to use its move action, having stunned you, to rush off in the other direction towards Zoth. And it's going to charge him, but the terrain is difficult, so I'm going to make it roll a save to avoid falling. It makes it safe, so it makes it to Zothkug. It can't actually attack you this turn, but it's breathing down your neck. You just can hear it right behind you as it kind of growls angrily. And that concludes the Umber Hulk's turn and brings us to Fox. Fox, who is engaged in a fight with Yellow Squad. They've been swinging batons at you.
All right. So it's dark here, right?
It is. It's dark everywhere.
Time for Fox to be ingenuity.
Nice.
I'm going to use my studded glamour armor and turn it to the vague dark color that the surroundings are made of, right? If it's all dark brown, it's dark brown. And I'm going to change my skin color to match with the cloak exactly. I'm going to become a ghost, just poof, and I'm going to roll stealth to disengage. Well, they already disengaged from me.
Yeah, roll stealth with advantage.
I don't know what's wrong with me, man. Luckily, I rolled higher, and I have good stealth. I got a 17, but only a 17.
Oof.
So their eyes, which were locked on you as they disengaged, stay locked on the same spot as you move to somewhere else. They're like,
Yes!
hang on. And then as you take a couple steps away and they realize they've lost you, they're like, where did he go? But they don't pick you back up.
Yeah.
You're like a chameleon.
You can move up to half your move speed and remain stealthed from them. And I forgot to roll for Green Squad.
Okay. I will move.
Yeah, from all squads.
So Green Squad are they still up high?
Yeah, 2 people up on the roof.
Okay, I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to move towards Jeb. Jeb looks like he needs help, so I'll take my slow time moving.
You sneak up behind the Umber Hulk and growl in its ear. Over
Oh wait, you know
kidding.
what? Yeah, I should sneak up to the Umber Hulk. I'm going to sneak up to the Umber Hulk.
So you sneak up behind the Umber Hulk and basically position yourself for the flank attack next round. That brings us to Yellow Squad, who have lost sight of you and are now kind of looking around the battle. They see a stunned Owlin who's been left behind, and they're going to run up to stun-locked Owlin and roll to hit with advantage because he's stun-locked. They hit you with 2 batons, Owlin, so I need you to make 2 wisdom saves.
Oh, geez.
It's the same effect, so if it happens once, the other one won't matter. It's not like it gets worse, is what I mean.
Wisdom?
Yeah.
I got a nat 20 on one of them, and then
Nat 20 will give you success on both. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
That just because it's cool and you got a nat 20.
Nice.
So you just take a total of 8 points of damage, and this is bludgeoning damage as they hit you with the...
So half to 4.
Yep, so half that to 4 as they bam, bam, are like swinging the batons at you.
Okay.
That brings us to Green Squad, who are going to take their whole turn to reload. So they're taking basically the dodge action as their like movement, and then their other action is to reload their weapons. That brings us to the 6th tension die.
Oh,
We roll the tension
Done.
pool.
Done.
SpaghettiOs.
Done.
I'm gonna throw this back to the group here. I rolled 4 complications. I'm gonna pull one of them off of my chart. You should decide on what are 3 ways the scene can get complicated that up the ante or make the narrative cooler. What are some
The
ideas? that you
tower
guys
starts
have for
sliding
that?
deeper down the hole.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love that. So like the whole tower, you mean?
Yes.
And that'll throw everyone off their feet a little bit. That's cool. Okay.
Is the grease flammable?
Yeah, it's grease.
Yeah. Something slides off and like causes a spark.
Ooh, maybe some like steel rubble falls out of that central spire and like lands against it and glints off of the rest of the rubble and creates the spark. And so the grease lights up in fire. The one that I'm pulling off of the complication table is the arcane echo that Jeb heard the trigger for and then moved just out of range of. It's going to fire anyway. That's the one that we're going to do. And then we have a 4th complication
I think
here.
the Umbra Hulk should go and walk home. It's so complicated. We don't even understand why. He's such a complicated Umbra Hulk.
He's so complicated.
Why is the Umber Hulk gotta be so complicated?
Everybody asks, what is an Umbra Hulk? Nobody asks, how is the Umbra Hulk?
That's right.
Important question.
Soth, you should ask the Umbra Hulk how he is.
You know what? How about this? I'll give the Umbra Hulk a percentile roll of getting distracted by something like elsewhere where it doesn't attack you for a couple rounds.
Okay.
Maybe some falling rubble or something like that. It will either be between 85 and 100 or between 0 and 15. Which would you like to be the acceptable percentage?
0 and 15.
0 to 15 it is. He rolled a 66. So unfortunately, it doesn't happen. That one doesn't come to fruition. So I now need everybody to roll a dexterity save, including all my other squads, as the entire tower suddenly shifts.
Oh boy.
Moving deeper into the hole.
Oh, no. I got a 2.
21.
I got a...
The DC to beat here is 15.
I didn't beat that.
I got a 14.
Zoth is the dexiest.
Those of you who failed the save, you take 5 points of slashing damage as you are knocked prone onto like the rubble and stuff on the ground. Just knocks you over. Along with that, you also see both members of Yellow Squad go down, and the Umber Hulk miss a step so that it can attack or move, but it can't do both its next round. Red squad keep their footing, and green squad, because they're spider climbing on the ceiling, are basically stuck in place as it moves, just because of the nature of spider
For
climb.
now.
So
For now.
yeah, yes, for now, you're right. The two living, now terrified members of Green Squad are stuck in place. At the same time as that happens, because the tower moves, the seismic activity of the tower moving dislodges something metal from the ceiling, which falls down and glints off of the ground, setting the grease aflame. So now there's a literal area of fire between you and the door, and also walling off Jeb from the rest of his companions. Nobody has passed there at the moment.
You're welcome.
And those complications, at the same time as those are happening, Jeb, you hear that same echoey voice, almost as if maybe the dislodging of the tower also moved the little arcane echo, like the rubble that it's attached to, the tangible piece of the construct that it was attached to. And you again hear the same, if we up the torque, the wings will work fine, Nigel. And then suddenly at your feet, a small, it's almost like Brad the Homunculus. It's a little dragonfly, a little mechanical dragonfly that zooms out of the rubble straight towards you. And you need to make a dexterity save of 15 or higher to avoid it flying straight into your face as it catches you totally off guard.
No, that's not it. I got a 6, so like a 8.
Okay, so you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as it hits you. And then when it hits you, it actually breaks apart. And just because it wasn't fully attached together and it's over torqued, and you take an extra 2 points of damage, that's heat damage, as the metal pieces whiz past your cheeks, basically.
Oof.
And the dragonfly falls to the ground broken. And that is the tension pool's turn.
Blooded your nose. Geez.
That brings us to Red Squad, who have, again, they've already reset the counterspell device on the ground, so its countdown goes down. In fact, if you look at the kind of glow as it builds and recharges, you think you've probably got this round and one more before it's ready to block another magical effect. There's someone near Wash who's going to attack, or near Jeb, I should say, who's going to attack with his handgun before moving closer. He pulls back the hammer.
It should be at disadvantage because Jeb is fallen prone because he is unconscious.
Oh no, he's unconscious. Oh, poor dude.
Oh no, Jeb!
So,
Luckily, this handgun misses him.
Well, I was going to say, if he's prone, to be at disadvantage, and if he takes the hit, he loses a death save.
Oh no, this is intense.
Wow. So you telling me Red Squad is so rude as to see the man go unconscious, and they're like, we got to double tap him immediately.
Shoot him now.
He got killed by a dragonfly.
They are private security goons. These goons they're well equipped. We need to level up our dudes.
Right?
The other one who's, if you survive this tower, you're looking at a level up. The other guy who's on the ground is going to just basically cover his friend who's watching the counter spell trophy as it recharges. So that's Red Squad's turn, which brings us back to Owlin Wadrir.
Owlin is stun locked, but Brad isn't.
Do you want a refresher on what's happening around, or since it's just Brad, do you want to just do his turn?
Brad, if Brad's able to, Brad would like to go move, fly, and then attack the Umber Hulk. He's okay with leaving the squad, the firing squad. Yeah.
Okay. So Brad darts away. What's his move speed? Is his move speed?
His move
80?
speed is 30 while flying. So I guess he probably
flies
wouldn't get
towards
there
the
yet.
Umber Hulk, but doesn't quite make it. He can take his dash action for this turn. That means next round he'll be able to fight.
He'll fly 60 feet then.
Yep.
Cool.
He zooms towards it, and that brings us to the top of the round. Now, with the tower moving, Green Squad are not present enough to engage any lair actions. They're like, whoa, the towers, they're just kind of keeping their feet and getting their bearings. So that brings us to Jebediah's turn. Am I rolling your death save? Are we good with doing this, or do you want to roll it yourself?
So I would like to roll it, but I can DM you the message if you want, so that you could, you know what it is and you know the situation. Is that cool with you?
How about, that's fine with me. How about you just roll it and don't tell me the situation, and I'll find out when the players do.
Sounds good.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yep. And this is a great way of handling it too, where the situation, but the DM doesn't. I think that's fun.
Dramatic irony.
It's almost like being a player. That takes us through Jebediah's turn and brings us to Zothkug. Would you like a recap before your 20 seconds begin?
Did I see Jeb go down?
Roll perception with a DC of 12. Let's say 12, just above average.
I got a 27.
Okay.
Yo.
Good night. Yes, you see your death save radar goes off.
Is Jeb within 60 feet of me?
Yes, he is.
Okay, I am going to cast Healing Word at 3rd level.
Okay.
So he's going to get 2d4 plus 5 health.
All right. 2d4 plus 5 health back to Jebediah, and you are stable and awake.
It was 13 health back.
Ooh.
Nice.
That was a bonus action, actually, thankfully.
Whoa.
Oof. Wow.
So for my action, it's going to be a guiding bolt at 3rd level on the Umber Hulk, who's right behind me.
Chat, that action will take place right after this.
That's crazy.
So you're attacking the Umber Hulk behind you.
Yeah.
Guiding
is
bolt
amazing.
is a save.
No, it's a ranged attack. Ranged spell
I'm going to
attack.
ask every time. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Go ahead and roll to hit.
Yes, 26.
Oh, yeah, that
Let's
hits it.
go.
That's
We're going
66, and that rolled terrible, but it's still 15 damage.
This is the second wind. This is the comeback.
Yeah. We've hit our darkest hour of the fight.
I rolled.
This is the third act.
Yeah.
You hit the Umber Hulk, guiding bolt. And are you taking any moves this turn?
I would provoke opportunity, right?
Yes.
Josh, you said that so excited. You really wanted him to provoke opportunity.
No opportunity attack.
Okay, that brings us from Zothkug to the Umber Hulk's turn.
Uh-oh.
The Umber Hulk is going to attack back. He just
Yeah.
turned around and like blasted magic into its face.
Yes.
It's going to use its full multi-attack as it's standing right behind you.
Please
So that's
miss.
3 attacks in total.
Please miss.
The first attack is a confirmed nat 20.
Oh, no.
The second is a 16 and the third is a 19.
Oh,
Do any of those hit you?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So this is a rough moment.
This might be the end of Zoth.
for Zoth. 8 doubled for the crit is 16 points of damage.
Well, Zoth is already unconscious.
Oh,
Okay.
no. But that...
So we just need to see if you get to negative double your hit points.
If it totals 30, the next 2 attacks total 30.
Oh,
man.
no.
Things are not looking good. We just got 14 points of damage on the second claw. And the last thing is going to be the bite attack, the mandibles.
I believe.
I also hopefully
12 points of damage.
Okay, so
Let's
not 30.
go.
Those 2 attacks are 2 failed death saves, though.
Oh,
Okay.
Like it's
Let's
hitting you
not
while you're
go.
down.
Yep.
So you have 1 death save remaining.
Yes.
That brings us to Unseen Servant. Unseen Servant, chat has just cast Unseen Servant, by the way. Unseen Servant grabs one of the Spider Climb runes from Green Team members and takes it to Jeb and places it in his hand. Green Team is going to get a dexterity save to try and grab it back because this thing I'm wearing is just lifting off of my belt. So they're going to get a dexterity save. Dude, they nat 20'd it.
No.
And then they confirmed it. They are able to stop it from being removed, but now one of them is in a tug of war with Unseen Servant. And although they will definitely win because Unseen Servant doesn't really take combat actions, I'm gonna take that as for this round they can't do a combat, so only one of them can attack this round.
Okay.
So that's the Unseen Servant getting involved. Thank you, chat, for engaging with the story here. At the same time, that brings us to Fox's turn. Fox, would you like a recap or do you want your 20 seconds?
I just need to know the range of people around me.
You are directly behind the Umber Hulk that just beat the crap out of Zothkug. So Zoth is now on the ground in front of you and like heavily bleeding, very slashed. He's got a huge bite into one of his shoulders. The Umber Hulk is right in front of you. Yellow Squad are behind you somewhere, but they can't see you because you're so well hidden. And Green Squad are on the ceiling above you, but they can't see you because you're so well hidden. So you have an opportunity here with your stealth to like do something nobody knows, but it will probably reveal you if you take a combat action.
Okay.
And then there's a big wall of fire in front of Zothkug.
So is the Umber Hulk still facing Zoth?
Yes, it is. And I'm going to start your 20 seconds.
Okay. I'm going to try to stay very low to the ground and sneak a health potion out and pour it into Zoth's open, agape, bloodied mouth.
Okay.
And try to make sure that the hulking beast directly in front of me thinks that Zoth is dead and doesn't see me, hopefully. I will roll as stealth.
Yeah, you're going to roll stealth, and it's going to get to use its active perception skill since it's looking towards Zothkug. Wow, the dice may have saved you like they failed Zoth. They may have actually saved you.
I got a 17.
Okay, yeah, he got, that's a 3 on his perception.
Okay.
So he's like roaring in
That's
victory
exactly
over
right.
there.
He like rears up and does another like roar of victory as you reach through and just like pour a little drip, 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 drip of a healing potion into Zothkug's mouth.
All right. And then I will, that I guess that's one action.
Mhm.
And then I will attack if I can do that.
Sneakily.
Yes,
So,
sneakily.
Say,
Exactly.
sneakily attack.
yep. Did you tell Zoth how much he heals?
No, I did not, but I can after
You should do that
After these messages.
After these messages.
from our sponsor.
Oh, did you? I have the. Yeah. The problem is I've lost my D4.
3 plus 4 is 7, plus 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10.
10.
And then that'll be +4, right?
Right.
It's 4d4 +4.
So 14.
Yeah, so 14 points total. So you were at 14 hit points, awake and stabilized.
I'm going to go ahead then. And am I able to drink a potion and attack?
No.
Okay. I will stay hidden then and drink another potion.
Okay.
Potion of growth.
Big fox.
Big
Potion.
fox.
Then you really do growl in the Umber Hulk's ear.
Yeah, right. Like, who's the big boy now?
Okay, because you are Big Fox, the next time someone goes looking for you, you'll have to re-roll your stealth. Like
Okay.
even though your colors and stuff are the same, now you're much easier to pick out.
Oh, of course.
That concludes Fox's turn, which brings us to Yellow Squad, who are going to go looking for you. So, thinking that Zothkug has died, they're like, okay, where's the sneaky one? And they're going to go, oh, no, wait, they're engaged with Owlin. I'm sorry, maybe I needed the recap the past couple turns. Owlin, they roll to hit you.
In a way, I kind of hope they do hit, so that way I can keep my rage.
A 16 and a 14. Do either of those hit you?
Because attacker wins no, actually, because of the bonus, only one of them hits.
Only one of them hits. I guess that's the ideal situation for you. Wisdom DC 12.
Wisdom, because of the sticks?
Yeah.
Dang.
Boomstick.
For a round in the dark.
14.
Boop, boop, boop.
Okay.
Fighting in the dark.
You pass your save. You are not in darkness, but you do feel something like pull at the edges of your mind, but you're able to like shake it off and you're focused, like your raging state. You do take
Yes,
6 points of
good.
bludgeoning damage, which halves to 3 because you are raging.
Nice.
That brings us to Green Squad, who are on the roof. They have now reloaded their weapons, but one of them is playing tug of war with Brad the Homunculus instead of actually being able to fire it. So he does successfully yank his cipher away from Brad and reaffix it.
No, that was the Unseen Servant. Brad was going towards
that's what I meant.
the Umber Hulk.
You're right. Unseen Servant. But they do yank it away, but that's the whole turn. The other one is going to roll to hit, and he's going to attack. Having seen Zothkug go down, not knowing where Fox is, I think he's going to attack Owlin. I think that's the one that makes the most sense for him to attack. He doesn't do very good. It hits the ground near your feet, and you do still need to roll a dex save for when it explodes.
Okay.
You and both of Yellow Squad also will need to roll it.
Nat 20 on the save.
Nice. Yellow Squad both saved as well. That brings us to the tension die,
Twinkle,
our
twinkle,
good friend
twinkle,
tension
twinkle,
die.
twinkle.
We add the first die back into the tension pool. And now it is Red Squad's turn. Red Squad, we've still got someone who's up there fighting against Jeb. Having seen Jeb go down and then kind of get back up again, he's going to close the distance and try to restrain you, Jeb. Yes?
Can Jeb try to play dead?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll a charisma. Let's just do a straight charisma check. If you have training and performance, you could use that too. And I'll let him roll an insight.
Could I make a case for deception?
Yeah, you can make a case for deception. Go ahead and roll deception.
18.
He got a 13 on his insight, so he thinks you're dead, and it's like, all right, we got this one. He turns away from you.
To be fair, I'm bleeding all over the place.
Oh yeah, you look dead. He turns around and you hear him say into his radio, all right, we got 2 of them dead. I think it's probably time to finish this off. You want to enter the fight? And you hear a familiar female voice, raspy, deep, and full of bitter, vengeful hatred.
No.
Mini boss. We're already dying out here. Now we got a mini boss going on. Come on.
I thought the Umbra was.
Maxi boss.
I didn't tell you what it says yet.
Okay.
We know. No, we don't.
It says...
Oh, maybe.
It says, no, get out of there and let's trigger the fail safes. And you see Red Squad begin like mustering together. So the 3 of them form up together. And also there is their counterspell trophy has almost finished charging. One of them picks it up and is going to like carry it with him. So it's still active, but it's in possession of Red Squad. And they use their move action to go through the door deeper into the library. As they move, at the same time as that happens, you get the impression that Green Squad are also, Jeb, you're the one who's seeing all of this. Everyone else can see bits and pieces, but you get the impression that Green Squad are also moving to activate some kind of ciphers that are on their belts, but they haven't done it yet because it's not their turn. You can't see, because of the Umber Hulk and the fire in the way, you can't quite see Yellow Squad from here, so you don't know what they're doing. But anyway, so that's Red Squad's turn, which brings us to Owlin, initiative order 0.
And Owlin didn't hear any of that, right?
No, because he's just...
Okay.
I guess you heard it through Yellow Squad's radios, so sure. Yeah, you heard the same things.
Okay. What does he want to do? Like trigger the failsafe. I think Owlin's priority now might be he's gonna like yell out like, we need to get to the bottom of the tower, because he's still raging. He's still got his like manly voice.
We gotta get to the chopper.
We gotta get to the chopper.
What's at the bottom?
What's
Get to the hopper.
Get to the bottom. Yeah. So he's gonna like try to probably dash, and he might provoke attacks of opportunity. And I think he's maybe okay with that. He's gonna try to dash to get to the bottom of like, we just need to go, because it sounds like they might have some way of bringing the tower down.
Okay, so you were able to make it as far as where the fire and Zothkug and the Umber Hulk are this turn. And that's dashing, but over the difficult terrain and all the stuff that's in your way. You can make it so you're about 2/3 of the way down the length of the tower. You do provoke 2 opportunity attacks, and instead of using them, both members of Yellow Squad slam some Wingle digits into ciphers at their hips and activate the jump spell on themselves. And they leap the whole way vertically, like out of this section of the tower and through into the cafeteria. Like they're noping their way out of the tower.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
So Yellow Squad has exited
up,
the fight.
not down.
They did go up. Red Squad went down. Yellow Squad went up. So Yellow Squad has left the fight.
Oh, and then now Brad is just going to follow. Brad is in following mode.
So he's not going to attack the homunculus, the Umber Hulk.
No, he's forming up with Alan.
Great. That brings us back to the top of initiative order, which are lair actions, and Green Squad are going to use their lair action to activate haste on themselves and double dash vertically, like up the tower further out, the same way that Yellow Squad retreated. So Red Squad went deeper. Yellow and Green Squad have both retreated vertically. And are not making any attacks back at you. As they move, you can hear from deeper in the tower, you hear some kind of like, almost like a rubbly noise begin. Oh, crumbling and pieces are moving. Stuff is happening deeper in the tower. That brings us to Jebediah. The remaining combatants in the room. So Red Squad has ducked through the door. So there are no squads left in the room. The Umber Hulk is still standing over Zothkug, has not realized he's alive yet. There's a wall of fire preventing Zoth and Owlin and Fox from moving further down the tower. And Fox is gigantic and right behind the Umber Hulk. You also know that like deeper in the tower beneath you is Red Squad. The other 2 squads went vertically, like climbed away from you, so they're probably not involved anymore.
And Owlin's nearby me because he was making his way towards this door.
No, because Alan's at the wall of fire too. So Alan made it as far as the wall of fire with his dash action, but because of how difficult the terrain is, that's as far as he could dash.
So the wall of fire is in the middle.
Yes.
Ish. Okay. I'm going to loop around and look down through the door.
Looking through the door, you see at the very top here is the lobby of the Eos Lore Foundation. Now, you've never seen it before, so this is all new to you. But it is a transparent floor, even though it's made out of like stone. It's a marble floor, but it's transparent. So you can see down into the library beneath. And then on that floor, there is a white marble reception desk, and there are some casual armchairs and things like that. You do not see Red Squad anywhere, but it's hard to see anything because it's quickly filling up with smoke. As you look down through the top opening, you know, this is still a spiral staircase that's continuing down. So basically you're peeking down the stairs into the next section. As you're looking down through, very rapidly, you start to have fireballs whiz past. They appear to be making circles of the room, just completely like spinning on their own. And every time they fly by, more and more smoke is pouring into the room, to the point where even with your superior dark vision, you only have about 20 feet of visibility. Because it's 80 shins across in total, you can't even see the whole way to the center of the room. Presumably, Red Squad are either in this room or deeper in the tower. But you get the impression that in order to get past these fireballs, it's going to take like a master of timing to get past them without being hurt.
I'm going to relay that information to the guys. I'm just going to yell it at them and be like, I almost died. I'm not dead. The guys went down here, but there's a whole bunch of fireball traps. We need to get out of this room, whether it's up or down, but I don't know which way we should go. Which way should we go, guys? Forget the Umber Hulk. We're leaving.
Alan would no longer be in his rage at this point. I believe, well, if we want to get to the Avatar, we must go down. But if we want a faster escape, then we must go up.
Down.
Okay.
As like I had 3 seconds left, so like as soon as Alan said Avatar, Jeb was just like, oh yeah, and I'm going to hop down in there.
Okay. What is your dexterity score?
Score? That's a 13.
Okay, I need you to make a dexterity save. The save is 17 to get through unsinged.
Holy begoers. May I do something just inside of the door before doing this?
If it fits into a round, sure.
Can I ask a kingly question?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely you may. you basically grab the rod and dislodge it from in your gun where it normally spends its time, and you take a knee, and that activates the rod here. And around you, time freezes, which is not an entirely unfamiliar feeling being a wizard of chronergy.
It happens.
But time around you freezes. So Owlin is yelling, "The Avatar is dead!" And Fox is gigantic and right behind the Umber Hulk, and Zothkug is mid-breath trying to figure out what to do. In front of you, the fireball has frozen directly in front of you at the door. And overlaid on the world, you see this palace begin to form. And you're basically in the throne room of a giant palace. And in front of you, that same shifting figure that you saw when you first attuned to the rod, that seems to be made up of all the kings and queens of old, of previous ages, appears. And it steps down the large marble steps towards you, footsteps ringing through the open chamber where there is no other sound but the wind. And it says, "What is your question?"
Your Majesty, I'm a man of intelligence and not a man of muscles. And we are in a tight place where I need to know the path. Would you be able to show me the path through this?
"The path indeed," the figure says, turning its head to the side. And in front of you, a small table. It's almost as if it was always there. Like there's no visible forming of the table, but suddenly you're standing at the table you would find in a war room. And overlaid on that table is a small model of the reception area of the Eos Lore Foundation Guild Hall, complete with little mini fireballs whizzing in circles around it. And the smoke coming off of it, it's all very real. You can smell it, you can hear the fire whooshing by, except that it's tiny. And the figure of the kings of old, the kings I should say, reach down and kind of lift the smoke off of the room, and they reveal at the very center of the room, there is a lever there. And spiraling out from the lever in crisscrossing geometric patterns are some glowing orange lines that reach their way to the outer circle where the fireballs are currently rotating. The kings of old sit down and they look at it with you, and it seems like they're literally like they're going over the problem at the same time. Rather than having some prior knowledge to grant you, they themselves are about to use their intelligence to see if they can come up with a solution to this puzzle that you find yourself in. And and they got a 20, a 20, and a 17.
Nice.
So the kings of old, who are no joke to begin with.
My kings?
Yeah, exactly. They look at it and they go, "There are 3 traps at play here. The first is the most obvious. These fireballs spinning in circles around the room. However, if you look here at the concentric lines," and almost like an Iron Man, they like lift up from the table and the things begin to separate into different like altitude levels.
Yeah.
And so you can see just the crosshatch pattern of the lines, and you can see that only some of them are glowing. "When you throw the lever the other way, it appears another effect will take hold. Now, one can detect several auras of magic in this room, but the strongest is conjuration, which makes me think that when you throw this lever, the next thing that happens is going to be some kind of gravitational effect. If this is a failsafe to prevent someone from getting deeper into the tower, then surely if you make it to the center of this room, they're going to want to find some way to stop you from traveling any further despite besting their fireball trap. To me, what that means is that the fireballs will race along and they move their hands and the other lines illuminate, and you see that they form 2 straight lines from wherever the fireballs are as they rotate back to the lever. The fireballs will race towards the lever here and attack it. So if you are standing at the center when you throw the lever, then you will be directly in the path of these fireballs." Although they say it in more descriptive terminology, talking about the great cataclysm of fire that would engulf you, you know that each fireball deals 8d8 damage and that the dex save is 14 to jump out of the way of the 2 fireballs running towards you. "However, there is a third layer to this trap." And they lift up just the lever itself and they show it to you. And as they raise it up, they say, "Reach your hand out and touch it." And your claws go right through. "This lever is not in the material world. This lever is ethereal. And so someone would need to get to the ethereal plane in order to even have a chance at throwing it. What's fascinating about that
is that it must somehow send you back for the fireball trap to work. There must be some second element to it that we cannot see from this vantage point. However, if you are able to throw the lever and get yourself out of the way, or else send something through the ethereal plane that were not transported back, you should take no damage. Furthermore, if you were able to get someone who were trained in the skills of artifice into the room, it's possible that they might be able to disable the pathway that leads the fireballs back to the lever itself. However, it would require great skill and probably a large amount of time. I also detect that there is something happening deeper in the tower. I can feel some vibrations. And while I can't tell you exactly what the effect is, I can reassure the worry that I see on your face that the tower is not about to collapse in on itself.
So we have time to figure this out.
You do. Use it wisely.
And as they say that, the whole throne room, everything begins to fade away. And just as the last vestiges of the little illusory smoke that was on your table of war disappear, time resumes again. And Owlin finishes saying, "Down there!" And Fox is breathing again. And Zothkug is taking a look at the fire, trying to figure out what to do. And in front of you, the fireballs are whooshing past.
I turn around and I tell everybody, we need to stop that thing. We need to stop that creature. Finish him off. Don't worry about the tower. I've seen something and trust me.
The swords, trust me, bro.
Wait, what? Y'all check the chat.
I just looked at it.
Oh,
Is the Unseen
whoa.
Servant ethereal? In the interest of not having a rules discussion in the middle of a D&D podcast, we're going to say sure you can have it because it was a great idea from chat. So the Unseen Servant goes to the center of the room and pulls the lever. And sure enough, the pathways illuminate differently and the fireballs rush to the center of the room in one final sort of cataclysm of fire as the lever is pulled. And then there is silence in the room below you. You can still hear deeper in the tower, whatever's going on down there is still going on. You can hear that same, kind of rubble mist that's happening.
Jeb, after he just tells everybody we need to kill the Umber Hulk and buy time to work on this puzzle, and this big massive explosion radiates behind him, he kind of turns around and is like, no, okay, we gotta go now.
There is still a wall of fire in the way of the party, and of course there is still the Umber Hulk. So that brings us from Jeb's turn in initiative order to Zothkug's. Oh, Jeb, you did that before you took a move. So are you going to also move deeper?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Well, I'm a good ways away. No, I'm gonna stay where I'm at just in case they need me. I don't want to be too far away. There's no
Sounds good.
help that will come from me going in deeper yet.
That'll give the smoke time to dissipate as well, so that you can go into the room without having to roll a save for coughing, I guess. So that brings us to Zothkug's turn. Zothkug, as a reminder, you are standing before a wall of fire. Directly behind you or I guess above you, because you were laying down and then brought back to life. Directly standing over you is an Umber Hulk. It has not realized that standing behind it, about the same size as it, is Fox, who is like super stealth camo mode. Like you can barely even see him against the backdrop, except that he's huge. So you can see like there's a matte darkness over top, a matte darkness over top of the otherwise shifting darkness and varied of the rubble behind him.
How wide is the fire?
It's 30 feet wide, so you could get around it in one.
It's super thick.
Like one full turn move action would take you 30 feet to the side, but because it's a round tower, like you would have to do some climbing to actually go past it without falling back into where the fire pit is.
Could I trip the Umber Hulk since he doesn't know I'm alive or like
You can
active?
absolutely try.
Sweep the leg.
I'll treat that as a
I will.
grapple, so you can roll athletics, whichever of those you choose, and he will choose one as well.
Acrobatics is better for me.
And
Abelethics.
he will also roll.
No, that's a nat one.
All right, so he beats you then.
Dang it.
So you try to trip
Yeah.
him, but instead all you do is grab his leg and pull. But he's a size category larger than you are. So like you're pulling on this thing. You're not used to things being this much bigger than you are. And sure enough, he is not falling down. He's also not like attacking you. He doesn't take an opportunity attack or anything. He looks down like, I was pretty sure that was dead, but he hasn't like done anything. Are you going to, I guess that's probably your whole turn, right? You're not going to try and stand as well now that he's looking at you?
Well, he'd have advantage if I stayed prone, so I should at least try and spend half my movement to stand up.
That's fair. You stand up and he takes the opportunity attack. He rolls a dirty 20 to hit you.
That hit.
He hits you with a claw. 9 points of slashing damage.
Ouch.
As he
That is ouch.
shreds you as you stand up. Fox, standing right behind him, of course, sees this happen. Probably all of you see it happen. It's pretty rough.
Then it's the Umber Hulk's turn. The Umber Hulk, which has already attacked Zothkug and still doesn't realize Fox is right behind him, is going to try and push Zoth into the fire. So, Zothkug, this is, since you're standing, it's opposed strength. It's not like a full grapple. He's trying to shove you and you're trying to keep yourself, where you are. Yes, Fox.
Since he's making an action directly in front of me, is that an attack of opportunity?
I don't think it is in rules as written, but I think you can have it for this one because you've done the setup for it already.
Well, I mean, if you say so, I'm not, forcing
I say
it.
so.
It's like if you're going to allow it.
Yeah, if you're going to allow it. How's a...
I like to think of myself as a benevolent DM.
How's
you miss 100% of the shots you don't take,
21
guys.
sound to hit?
That's a 21's going to hit him.
All right. Well, we're gonna give me a second. I have to do some damage.
Just roll it up. Roll it up there.
Yeah, just roll up some damage.
We got some E plus 3 plus 2. That's 13, 14. Wow, I just rolled three ones in the row. So that's 15.
Don't forget your big
I'm
damage.
about to get that. And then that would be plus 2, 17 damage. Because I get, and that was with advantage, with my sneak attack, and with my size advantage.
17 damage?
17 damage. I didn't miss anything in that, right? That's a lot of modifiers in my head.
I think you got it.
You find a chink in the armor and attack it right as it's going to shove Zothkug, and you throw it off balance enough that it kind of misses. It glances off your shoulders off. It does not shove you into the fire.
Yay.
Cast it into the fire.
Thus concludes the Umber Hulk's turn, and thus begins Fox's turn, who I assume is going to do it again.
Push him into the fire.
I'm going to try to run him through the rapier and charge him into the fire.
You'll roll to hit, and then you'll roll your damage, and then afterwards you'll roll an opposed strength check to try and push him.
Okay. I got
and that'll cost your move action.
12
to hit.
Yeah.
Nope, that's not going to do it. So now he knows you're behind him. He turns, and so the critical spot you've identified, you glance off the armor next to it instead of actually hitting him.
I did realize something.
Ooh.
Zoth's on the other side of him.
Yeah.
That's advantage.
Yeah.
I didn't roll advantage.
Okay. Well, yeah, roll it with advantage. That's the prerequisite for a sneak attack.
Yeah. All right. So sorry about that. It is not a 12. It is in fact a 13.
Oh, dang it. Also does not hit. So the same things happen.
Yeah.
Glances off his shoulder. Wow, a lot of people hitting their opportunity attacks and then not able to finish the job here. That ends Fox's turn and brings us to another die in the tension pool. And then through the tension pool, that brings us to Owlin's turn.
Owlin is going to do whatever. Well, shoot. Now you guys are engaging.
Yeah. Owlin, who is also behind the wall of fire, has basically Zothkug and Fox on opposite sides of the Umber Hulk next to you. And then Jeb is far away.
Owlin's gonna feel like he has to engage the Umber Hulk then, if they are. So Owlin he's no longer raging, sadly, but he will attack.
Okay.
That is 16.
Doesn't do it. You swing towards it, but it's in the fray, you're afraid to hit Zothkug as well. And so it you kind of hesitate a little bit on the strike. And without that commitment, it doesn't quite get there.
Dang it.
That'll bring us back to initiative order 20. There are no lair actions to take. So Jebediah Peppermint, it is your turn. You have 20 seconds.
Magic missile against the Umber Hulk.
All right, you hit it.
That's 5 and 2, which is 7 plus 3, which is 10 points of force damage right into his stupid Umber Hulk face.
Yep.
Got him.
Stupid dude with his stupid face.
And they went through the fire and they picked up fire damage too.
No, they didn't.
Just kidding.
Zothkug, your turn.
Could I take the disengage action?
Sure.
So I don't take an opportunity attack. And then I'm going to start moving my way around the fire.
Okay, so you make it up to the side of the fire. Next turn, you'll have to roll an athletics to climb over the fire without going through it.
Okay.
That brings us to Fox, who is now not quite facing, but it's not facing away from you with the Umber Hulk, but Owlin's there attacking it, so you're still technically flanking it, so you still have advantage, so you can still get a sneak attack.
My dice hate me today. I don't hit it. Ah!
Do you have other dice you could use?
No.
Fox doesn't hit. We add a die to the tension pool, and then we find ourselves at Owlin's turn.
Alan, you can do it.
Alan might. I think Alan originally thought that the best plan was going to be basically doing what Zoth is doing. So Alan is going to take the disengage action and follow Zoth.
I like the idea that Fox is like, I got him, and he misses, and Zoth is like, cool, you got him, and he goes at the thing, and then Fox is like, don't worry, guys, I got him, and he misses, and Alan's like, you got this. He like starts following Zoth. That brings us back to the top
I'm
of
gonna start calling you Whiff instead of Pup.
top of initiative order, which is Jebediah Peppermint's turn.
Oh, wait, again already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's just us and the Umber Hulk.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna holler up at Fox and be like, "You got this, pup. Keep going. keep hitting him."
That brings us to Zothkug's turn. Zoth, roll your athletics to climb across the...
Can I make it acrobatics?
No, you can't. Acrobatics is for going down. Athletics is for going up or sideways.
I'm going to cast guidance on myself.
Okay.
I will roll the athletics roll first, which happens to be a nat 20.
Let's go.
Nice.
And I will not use my guidance and save it for whatever the next ability check I'll have to
Yep,
make.
and I won't make you roll a save to fall into the fire because you so like meticulously pick your way across. So you make your way over to Jeb and it's no big deal. We'll just say you cover the space between.
Nice.
That makes it the Umbra Hulk's turn. Now it's just Fox and the Umbra Hulk. The Umbra Hulk turns and for the first time locks eyes with Fox.
Oh no.
And Fox makes a charisma save, DC 15.
Don't get stun locked.
Charisma save, you said? That's a non-nat 20. But I was going to say,
Let's
can I
go.
morph my eyes out of existence and then back?
No. The Umbra Hulk looks at you, but nothing happens. So you and the Umbra Hulk have a moment. And then after you have your moment, the Umbra Hulk multi-attacks. It rolled a 12, a 16, and then a 10. How many of those hit you?
12, 16, and a 10? 16.
Okay, so that's a claw attack. So it hits you with one of its swipey claws. It hasn't done very well at biting you guys. It only got Zoth. And it rolls a whopping... Oh, never mind. It has a lot of plus. It rolled a 1 on the die. 6 points of damage as it slashes across you with its claws.
Okay.
And
That's
it's
minimum
going
damage.
to attempt to grapple you instead of moving.
It can do all this at the same time.
Yeah, it's a multi-attack and a move action.
So
Gosh dang.
I saw the claw attack. How many? So uncanny dodge applies, right?
Yes, you could use uncanny dodge as your reaction on this. It fails its grapple with you. So it tries to get into a grapple, but you're busy uncannily dodging it. And so you just kind of like duck under its arms and continue the fight.
Bouquet.
Nice.
And in fact,
Uncanny
you do
dodge,
continue
man.
the fight because you're next. 20 seconds on the clock.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'm just gonna shove it. I'm gonna this is Sparta. Kick it as hard as I can while I'm giant and try to kick it into the fire.
All right, I'll give you 2 options.
All right.
You can roll a strength check to push it into the fire, which it will oppose with strength. Or you can roll a melee attack to hit, in which case it'll get a strength save with disadvantage because it would absolutely not expect you to try this technique.
Okay. I will go ahead and take the one where he has disadvantage.
So you're going to roll to hit.
I rolled a hit and I got a 16.
Nope. You go to kick him, but you're bigger than you expected. And so you're like winding up for the kick and it like kind of figures out what you're doing and doesn't quite.
I can move still, right?
I'm gonna run away.
I'm going to create I'm going to try to camouflage myself the best I can, even though I'm giant. I know it's not going to work well. I'm just going to book it in the opposite direction the other two went. So I'm going to try to go around the fire the other way.
Okay. It's going to roll its opportunity attack to hit you as you leave.
Yeah.
Disengage.
18.
Can I disengage as a bonus action?
You should be
You
able
can
to.
disengage.
You're a rogue.
Yeah, you can disengage.
Oh, that's right. I'm a rogue. So I will disengage.
Utilizing every action.
and get
Yeah, Matt, for the first time, utilizing all of his rogue powers.
I'm getting out of there. And I'll book it in the opposite direction. So that way, if it chases me, I don't get the other people. Yeah.
So you book it in the other direction. And the Umbra Hulk, now between a bunch of people who have left the party, is like, huh? That brings us
Which one does he love better?
Attention die.
Who's he going to run to?
And then we jump over here to Owlin Wadrir. You can make an athletics check to move across the fire.
21.
Okay, yeah, you make it across the fire.
Sweet.
And then roll a dexterity save to avoid like slipping down on the debris.
Nat 20.
All right. You also don't fall.
Let's go.
Brings us back around to the top of initiative order for Jebediah Peppermint. At this point, you guys have disengaged pretty effectively from it. We're going to assume that you're able to make it across the fire.
Okay.
All that remains is for the Umber Hulk to try and get to you. It is still an enraged beast. It's going to just tank the fire and run through
Oh no.
to try and attack you guys on the other
like
side.
Rhino, the Spider-Man
But it's
villain.
my turn, right?
Yes, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm going to examine the door, see what I like. What can I do to lock this thing? Is there anything to bar it from this side? So once the guys get through, I can like prepare an action and slam it and latch it or whatever.
The door is a double wide wooden door, like big solid oak, or at least it was before the tower fell. Now it's like, the hinges aren't great. So it would be hard to open, but probably not for an Umber Hulk. However, there's plenty of debris available in the room below. So if you were all able to get down there, you could probably pile stuff in front of it. Umber Hulks can burrow, so that's a risk, but it would probably take longer to burrow than it would take to walk.
But it's not
Usually.
a dirt floor. It's a stone floor in here, right?
But if
Okay.
you're piling up just debris, that's like, loose wood shavings and stuff. It can burrow through that. the
It's
same
just
way
a
you could.
pile.
Oh, I was thinking shut the door first and then pile stuff behind it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Jeb will start piling stuff up. Like he's gonna, take this big board and like lay it here and take this thing and like move it around, like so that once the door's shut, he can kind of boom slam them down.
Roll a percentile die to find out how much of the 100% debris required you're able to pile into like this turn.
That is 40.
So you have 40% of the debris needed to cover the door. This number can be added to by the other party members if they want to help.
We do. Are we out of initiative?
No.
Okay.
Zothkug's turn. Zoth, you're on the other side of the fire, so you've moved over to where Jeb is, basically.
Yep, Zoth will help Jeb gather stuff ready to push in front of the door.
Okay, percentile?
67.
Yo!
Zothkug, if Jeb and his little molefolk self can get 40% of the way there, surely Zothkug and his big burly orc form can dude, all I got to do is set my pot down. Yeah. So Zoth is able to gather the rest of the debris required. It's just a matter of getting you all inside before you can shut the door, because Owlin and Fox are both outside still. They've just crossed, so they'll need this round to move in. However, right now it's the Umber Hulk's turn. The Umber Hulk is running through. As I said, it's just tanking the fire damage. So I'm going to just roll fire damage for it and see how much damage we do.
To
Maybe it just
mention,
dies.
it's also grease.
It is grease.
It is also grease. I will make it roll a dexterity save to avoid falling as well. Let's
Grease,
do that
lightning.
first, because I'll add extra fire damage if it falls.
I am big brain.
It passes the dex save by
Dang.
1. So it just takes the fire damage.
This annoying Umber Hogan.
So it sprints through, roaring and growling as it rushes towards you. And then just on the other side of the fire, charred, blackened, bloodied, it falls to the ground and skids towards the door. It gives one last, ugly breath, sending this cloud of just decay, like tooth decay over you. And then it moves no more still. And you find yourselves in the disabled trap room that was the reception area of the Eos Lore Foundation. The floor beneath you is clear marble, as I said before, and then beneath that is the library proper. You can still hear deeper in the tower this rumble, this rubble, this something is happening. And if you devote your attention to the stream, you'll note that there's a real life 10-minute timer as you step down into, so this is 10 minutes in real life before something happens.
Yes, and it's
We don't even
ticking
know what
right
it is
now.
yet. Yep, you step into the library proper, the last section of the Eos Lore Foundation tower, and stretching ahead of you, mounds of fallen bookshelves, charred paper, scorched book backs, all these, the rubble from it falling. But carved through the center of it, there is about a 2-foot wide, clean as a whistle, smooth stone pathway. And then moving slowly down, creating this stone pathway, there is a dark sphere of glowing blue energy surrounding deepest black, as if you were staring into the void itself. And beyond that, at the very base of the library, you can see the form of a black dragon trapped within an arcane sigil at the very base of the tower that this thing is moving towards. and it is straining to get out, having seen the danger ahead of it, but it can't. It is still trapped within the runes. There is a lever.
I need to make
There is a lever just outside the arcane circle. Go ahead.
I need to make an intelligence/arcane check to see what that thing is.
Okay.
I'm gonna start moving in that direction to try to. I'm not gonna get anywhere near whatever that is, but I will try to get to the
21.
21. Jeb, even like in your sort of haphazard, knowledge picked up, you've heard of a sphere of annihilation.
Yes. Okay, so if I have heard of one before, I would like to assume control of it.
You are welcome to try, and yet when you attempt, something interrupts you. It's almost as if the sphere itself pushes back.
I didn't know you could do that.
Can I contest it? Can I channel the intelligence of the rod and try to contest the pushback?
No.
Because the rod lets me have advantage on intelligence checks.
The rod does let you have advantage on intelligence checks, but in this case, what you're doing isn't something that can be contested with the weave within the rod because it's not using a weave to activate. So, like the intelligence check you would have advantage on if there were the potential of you succeeding.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, we need to get past that thing fast. We need to get him out. If it touches him, it's over. Do not get close to it. Do not get near to it. It will disintegrate everything that it touches.
Well, we need to pull a lever, right?
I don't know.
I can.
But we need to get down closer.
I'll
and
get
figure
down
it
to the
out.
lever as quickly as I can and attempt to examine it.
The last lever in the previous room, you guys didn't see it, but it was trapped. This is probably trapped as well, Fox. You need to check that thing for traps.
We'll both check it.
I'm going to start
How'd you
moving.
pull
I'm
this
just going to
lever?
start moving. With my dash as a bonus action, does that mean I can move triple my move
Okay, so
speed?
you can move triple your move speed, but you do have to like climb your way over fallen, bookshelves and things like that. You do all of that. You're a rogue. It's no problem for you. You make your way.
Alan is following behind. He may not be able to get there as fast.
Maybe Fox
but
is
he's
able
trying
to
do the
assist
same
him by
thing.
pointing out safe footing. So between the two of you, you're able to get down there. The going, as I said, is slow, methodical, but you are able to outpace the sphere, which is moving very slowly. And as it moves, once you're in front of it, you can even see that as it moves, it like chars things for a half second, like instantly charred as if they've already been burned, and then boom, they wink out of
And
existence.
they disappear. Yeah.
As it continues sliding down, and wood and metal and stone is disappearing. And now I've used up enough of your time that you've made it the whole way down to the base of the circle. So you're at the base of the circle. There is still, it doesn't seem that Garlel is even aware of you. He's down there, but he's like roaring in draconic agony, surrounded by this arcane circle, the sigils of it basically all glowing in orange, the same way the ciphers have been. And there is the lever. The lever is far enough away from the circle that certainly he could not reach it. When you get to it, the first thing you notice is that it's incorporeal. When you reach towards it, you reach through it. Fox, you can roll an investigation to try and learn more. Owlin, you can roll an arcana check to try and use your artificer knowledge to learn more.
I rolled a 10.
Okay.
And I rolled a 13 plus. I got a 16.
Okay. Between the two of you, Fox is able to work out first that, like, because this thing is incorporeal, but you can see it, it must be on the ethereal plane. He's heard of this happening once before, the way Jeb described it in the Abalet's lair, when when the will-o-wisps took form. Owlin, you are able to work out that the lever is definitely controlling the sphere of annihilation, and that if you're able to pull it to the other side, it will reroute the sphere of annihilation to fly towards the lever, and it will only take the amount of time that would give you mechanically one dex save to jump out of the way. So like when you do it, it's like another black hole basically has activated and it zooms towards you.
Alan will communicate that. And I assume
Podcast listeners, 4 minutes and 24 seconds remain.
I'm sure Fox will communicate the ethereal part.
Yep, it's all communicated.
Yep.
Jeb, what's going to happen if I try to disfigure these signs? These sigils.
I don't know. Arcana check on the sigils.
You're pretty sure that if you can find a way to disfigure the sigils, the spell will end the effect of trapping him in place. The trouble is
I
disfiguring
got a
them.
17 plus 9
All right.
to decipher them.
Yep. So when you try to decipher them, they're
That's
an
a
ancient or
26.
old kind of magic. They're not one of the more normal schools of magic because they're done by the Aboleth. However, you are able to, once you get down there to where Fox is, they're carved into the ground. They're not written on the ground, which means that in order to get rid of them, hypothetically, if you could destroy the ground, which is again solid stone that's been worked, so we can't like mold earth on it or something like that. But if you could find a way to actually disfigure the ground, that might be enough. Now, you would lose this.
Break the ground, guys.
You would lose it in parts. So every piece of it, there are 8 sigils around it for the 8 schools of magic. So as you break each one of them, it gets easier for Garlel to escape with your help. So it'll basically be you guys pulling strength opposed to the strength of the trap, which gets weaker as we go.
Okay, I'm gonna grab a piece of steel laying nearby because I'm sure there's steel plenty around.
Sure, that's a great idea.
And I'm just gonna use, while I'm still giant, my strength to just start scrouching out.
Go ahead and roll strength.
The stone. Not enough.
Zoth will pull out his mace.
I've rolled with a 3.
Okay, not enough. Zoth pulls out his mace. Go ahead and roll your strength check to try and carve over it. We're not in initiative order here, so you guys can just yell what you're doing.
Okay.
At me.
I'm going to use my guidance.
Okay.
And add to that roll.
Alan's going to use the mostly destroyed great axe of giant slaying.
11.
Like the remains of that to just like whack at it.
Great idea. Alan, because it's the great axe of giant slaying, roll with advantage on your strength. 11. Zofkug, you begin to scratch at one of the sigils, and indeed it starts to fade. It is not the whole way gone. You'll need another round of doing this. But
Alan got
you can just keep
26.
going. Alan got a 26. Alan rears
23,
up with
sorry,
the great
23.
axe and just boom slams it down on the sigil. The whole chunk that he's in, an eighth of it disappears, and in your hand, the great axe splinters into pieces.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Hand of Coal and have it erupt out of because it's constructed out of the ground, have it erupt out of the ground of one of the sigils and smash down on one of the other ones.
Perfect. One of them is definitely disfigured. Roll strength to disfigure the next.
I rolled 11 strength to try to disfigure another one with steel as I'm giant.
Okay, you and Fox work together, or you and Zoth work together to get the first one that he's doing disabled.
Okay.
3 have been broken so far. Jeb is rolling strength to attempt to break a 4th of the 8. Listeners,
I got a
1 minute and
19.
22 seconds remain. With your 19, you break a
Rolled
5th.
a 9 on a second.
Okay, you are
roll
not able
attack.
to disfigure the next part of the sigil, and the energy is starting to melt through your
Nat
mace.
20 to
Okay.
Nat 20. You are able to break the 6th piece of the sigil. There's 1 minute on the clock, listeners. You're able to break
Alan
the
is
6th piece of the sigil.
Alan is
Time to move
pulling
my
out
hand and do
his.
it again.
It's not attuned yet, but he's pulling out the
14
scimitar of speed
to disfigure
and
another.
attempting to use that.
Okay. Between
I
Alan's...
can move the hand.
Yep. Between Alan's Scimitar of Speed and Fox, you are able to break the 7th, and then the hand breaks the 8th. Garlel is free, but immediately falls unconscious to the ground. So now there's just a dragon laying there with the Sphere of Annihilation 38
I'm gonna
seconds
grab
away.
him.
You've got to find a way to move
I'm gonna
them.
grab
casting
him as
Cure
a
Wounds.
giant
I'm
as he's
casting
doing
Cure
that. I'm
Wounds
gonna
on
grab
him.
him as a giant and drag him out of the way.
Great. And between the two of you, you cure his wounds and he wakes up, feebly using
He heals 12.
feebly using his draconic legs to help scratch to the side as Fox helps him, pulling him to the side, and you drag Garlel, Avatar of Gamteus, God of Chaos, out of the sigils where he was bound. Just as, I kid you not, listeners, the final 10 seconds of the Sphere of Annihilation, you can feel the heat and the sizzling energy as it moves towards where you were. It like singes little bits of cloth off of your clothes as you pull Garlel to the side, but you do safely get him out of the line of fire of the Sphere of Annihilation as it gets to its final resting place at the center of the tower, or the center of the sigil where Garlel was, and eats through the base of the tower and just stops, winks out of existence. The lever itself remains untouched.
That was too close.
And on that note, tonight's chapter of the Winged Badger Tavern comes to a close.
We did it.
Wow.